Good morning, everyone. I have the Weather Geek mug ready to roll on this Saturday morning as we hunker in and watch the rest of this very brief but impactful winter storm pushing through the region. We actually have a warm front moving through this morning. That is what is responsible for the wintry precipitation. I've got the radar and the temperatures plotted up here this morning, and we'll be keeping a close eye on these temperatures over the next few hours. We're still a fair bit below freezing here locally, but off towards I-71, you'll notice these temperatures are getting up to about freezing or even a little above freezing, and this warmer air is slowly pushing east. You'll notice in the transition zone between the cold and the somewhat warmer temperatures, we have some peaches and pinks. We never like to see that on the weather map. We'll talk about the type of precipitation that is occurring here. What I've got on this side of the screen over here is just our traditional radar, and then above my head, this is a product that we use in the cold season to identify precipitation type. And to a trained eye, you can see where the rain-snow line is, where the snow mix line is. It's right here where this skinny little band is, and then heading down towards Alliance. This is where we have the difference between snow, and this is rain over here. And then this is kind of the mix zone as we are seeing some melting of those snowflakes in this zone. So that shows up as a noisier color on our product here. Instead of that smooth kind of reddish color, it's more of a noisy orange-red mix. That's where we're seeing probably some sleet pellets and a few raindrops trying to mix in from roughly Canton up to Akron and into the Cleveland area as well. Back towards Elyria and Ashland and Medina, this is primarily rain, and this is falling into air that's pretty close to freezing. So technically this is freezing rain in a lot of this area, but you know, with temperatures near freezing, it's not like it's a big ice storm or something like that. Now this mixing line, or this changeover line, will continue pushing east until it gets here, though. Even though we've had a relative lull in the snow over the last couple of hours, the snow should pick up in intensity some over the next hour or two. I talked about this yesterday on TV and online, how we're going to get this quick thump of snow in the pre-dawn hours, and then there'd probably be a dry slot, a break. That's come to fruition. We haven't seen much additional accumulation over the last 2 hours or so, but I think the next couple of hours will probably see a quick accumulation again before finally we warm up, we see some mixed precipitation, and eventually just some rain. Let's take a quick perusal of our local cameras. This is in Niles, where the snow is starting to pick up again after a relative lull over the last couple of hours. Let's refresh Columbiana, and yeah, the road surface is definitely starting to go downhill again along the traffic circle in Columbiana this morning after it looked pretty decent for a while. In Boardman along 224, you can see the visibility is lowering, and while it looks a little bit slick on the roads, the main roads, they got a chance to catch up over the last couple of hours due to the relative break, and the visibility is starting to lower and conditions are starting to go downhill again in Youngstown. This is 680 and South Avenue. Temperature-wise locally, again, refresh this, and we're still a handful of degrees below the freezing mark. The rest of this graphic should load here momentarily. Let's refresh that, see if that comes in. Well, you get the idea. It is still in the mid-20s, but temperatures are going to start warming as we go through the next hour or two, and you'll see that on our high-res model here. We'll be around freezing, I think, by about 11 in a lot of our Ohio counties. It may take until noon or 1 even, out towards I-79 in Mercer County. And then we get into the 40s this afternoon. I told you yesterday, get outside and measure this morning. Make your snowman, your snowballs this morning, because a whole lot of melting is going on this afternoon. Our focus for tonight will not be snow, but a refreeze. We're going to get into the lower and maybe even mid-40s in some spots this afternoon. And then over the course of 12 hours, we're going to drop from the lower, maybe even middle 40s, all the way down into the mid-teens by tomorrow morning. With all the melting and all the water sitting around this afternoon and this evening, concerned about black ice issues late tonight and tomorrow morning on some of our roads. You just got to be real careful, especially on things that may not have been treated that well, sidewalks, parking lots, secondary roads. Not much more than a flurry overnight, but with this kind of a temperature crash after this much melting today, going to be a lot of frozen water on the ground, I think, for late tonight and heading into tomorrow morning. And just real quickly, a recap of our transition period, starting in our western viewing area and slowly working east. The last places to see the transition over to a mix and then rain will be the I-79 corridor, Mercer County, and points east. It's going to take a little while for that to happen over there, but for most of our Ohio counties, it'll be raining by about 11 to noon or so And that'll set the stage for a breezy and milder afternoon. The wind will gust occasionally to 30 to 40 miles per hour later on today as that cold front approaches. And then we're going to settle into winter for a few days. We're not going to see freezing again until Wednesday, but starting Wednesday, it is going to warm up pretty nicely, it looks like, for the end of next week. I've got you covered online this morning and later on today. Meteorologist Ramel Carpenter will be in the Storm Tracker 21 Weather Center with a recap of today and an update on tonight's weather on 21 News at 6 and 11. And make sure you're following Ramel on social media as well. Make it a great and a safe Saturday.